Welcome back to Blind Truth. Today, we're diving into a topic that's as alluring as it is surprising: paradise with Peril. 20 breathtaking beaches secretly hiding danger. Get ready for a journey to some of the most stunning coastal destinations around the world, where beauty meets the unexpected. Number 20. Ponnani Beach. Ponnani Beach is in India. It's a sandy area that appeared suddenly after heavy rain in 2018. The northern district, especially Ponnani Beach, was most affected by the flooding. The landscape changed a lot. The sand stretches from the shore into the ocean for almost a kilometer. People were excited to see this unusual sandy beach. However, people sometimes forget about safety. Even though it's risky to walk on a shifting sandbank in a tidal area, many were eager to explore the long, thin peninsula. Unfortunately, some didn't realize that the water could rise or the sands might shift again. This has happened before, and some people have lost their lives due to risky behavior. Remember to stay safe. If you enjoyed this information, please subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. Number 19. Hanakapiai Beach. Hanakapiai Beach is a really pretty but dangerous place. It's risky because of strong tides, and there are other dangers too. People still come here to hike and visit, but it can end badly. The trail along the coastline on the Hawaiian island of Kauai is considered the most beautiful in the United States. But it's not just beautiful, it's also risky. People have died here because of flash floods, falling off cliffs, getting stuck, and even from plants. It's a challenging hike, not for everyone. Be careful, it's like a jungle. There's no cell phone reception, and the rip tides in the water are more dangerous than sharks or jellyfish. Rip currents are strong, narrow currents that pull you out to sea. They can be hard to spot, even when the water seems calm. About 150 people die from them in the United States each year. So, if you go, be cautious. It's a risky place, and even if it looks calm, there might be hidden dangers. Number 18. Gansbaai Beach, South Africa. Gansbaai Beach in South Africa is known for having a lot of sharks, especially great white sharks. Even though we know that riptides are more dangerous than sharks, it doesn't mean that sharks never attack. In Gansbaai Beach, the sharks are known to be extra mean and deadly. Many beaches in South Africa have a lot of sharks, but Gansbaai Beach is considered the great white shark capital. Most people would think it's a bad idea to swim there, but some adventurous people, especially divers, still go into the water. They often use shark cages for protection. The great white shark is a scary predator, with about 300 sharp teeth. In the 1975 movie Jaws, a great white shark terrorized the coast. These sharks are efficient hunters, but not all attacks on humans are meant to be deadly. Some scientists think the shark might just be curious and take a bite to see what a human tastes like. However, the victim may not find it comforting, as many great white shark bites can be fatal due to their size and enthusiasm. Number 17. New Smyrna Beach, Florida. New Smyrna Beach in Florida has a reputation for having a lot of sharks in the water. It's considered the most shark-infested place in the world. Even though there are many sharks in Australia and South Africa, Florida has the title. Shark bites happen here often, but most of the time they are not deadly. In fact, a couple of years ago, 3 surfers got bitten in just one day. Sharks might bite people, but they usually don't eat them. If they do, they often spit them out. Despite the scary reputation, only about 10 out of 400 shark species are actually dangerous to humans. So, while there are around 100 shark attacks each year, only about 20 of them result in the person dying, usually because of losing a lot of blood. It's good to know that most sharks are not interested in eating people. Number 16. Playa Zipolite, Mexico. In Mexico, there's a beach called Playa Zipolite on the west coast. It's known for dangerous riptides in the water. This beach is one of the few nude beaches in the country, but even if you're comfortable being naked, it's not safe to swim there. Locals call it the Beach of the Dead because about 50 people lose their lives in the water every year. So, it may not be a good idea to visit this beach if you want to stay safe. Number 14. Red Triangle, California. In the Pacific Ocean near California, there's a place called the Red Triangle. It's not safe to swim there because it's known for having a lot of sharks. The area goes from Bodega Bay to Big Sur and includes San Francisco. Many sea animals like seals, sea lions, and sharks live there. Some people still enjoy water activities like diving and surfing there, even though it can be dangerous. We hope they stay safe and keep all their body parts. Number 13. Praia do Norte, Portugal. There's a beach in Portugal called Praia do Norte. It's famous because it has really big waves that have even broken world records. These waves are not just big, but they come really close to the shore, making it dangerous for small boats and swimmers. Sometimes, these waves can flip over boats or surprise people, and there's a high risk of drowning. Despite the danger, some people find it exciting and come here to try surfing on the huge 70-foot waves. It's a risky challenge, and although some surfers have set world records here, there's still a high chance of getting seriously hurt or even dying. Number 12. Kosi Bay, South Africa. Going back to South Africa in Kosi Bay, we're swimming with bull sharks this time. Bull sharks are very aggressive and dangerous. Kosi Bay may not look beautiful on the surface, but underneath, it's made up of 4 lakes, creating a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a quiet beach because the estuary is full of hungry sharks, especially bull sharks. Bull sharks, also known as Zambezi sharks, are found in rivers like the Zambezi River. They live in warm, shallow waters, not just along the coast, but also in rivers and estuaries. Bull sharks can swim long distances and pop up unexpectedly. They are notorious for being aggressive. These sharks have been known to swim far up rivers, like the Mississippi River in Alton, Illinois, which is 700 miles away from the ocean. Bull sharks, not great whites, are responsible for most near-shore attacks. They are large, solid sharks with a fierce bite force. The scary part is they can be found in various places, from the Ohio River to the Ganges, and from Sydney Harbour to the Jersey Shore. Number 11. Reunion Island, France. There's an island called Reunion Island in France. It used to be a great place for surfers, like a tropical paradise. But in 2011, there were 6 shark attacks, and things have only gotten worse since then. Some surfers have even been killed by sharks. Now, people are avoiding the whole area because they're scared of sharks. This is bad for the tourism on the island, but it's good for surfers who want to keep their arms and legs safe. Number 10. Boa Viagem Beach, Brazil. The Boa Viagem Beach in Brazil used to be a favorite for surfers, but now they stay away. It has one of the highest rates of shark attacks in the world, with nearly 60 attacks in the last 20 years. What's even scarier is that if you get attacked in these waters, there's a high chance of not surviving, 37% death rate. The reason for so many sharks is because there's a trench just off the coast, and it's part of their migration route. They hunt in the shallow waters near the trench, close to the beach. Recent development along the coastline has disrupted marine life, making sharks search for different food sources since their usual meals are harder to find. This is bad news for people, as hungry sharks become less picky about their meals, putting swimmers at risk. Number 9. Gurgaon, Chowpatty, India. If you're ever in Mumbai, especially on a hot day, which is likely, you might think going to the beach is a good idea, but it's not. Never think this because the beach, called Chowpatty, is really, really bad. Even if you feel like melting, going to this beach is a terrible idea. It's dirty and filled with the worst kind of filth. If you can find any part of this beach that doesn't have sewage and garbage, you've done something amazing. There's disgusting waste everywhere, toxic foam, and general human waste all over the beach and in the water. It's the most poisonous beach in the world. It should be clear that no one should go here. But just in case you're thinking it doesn't look too bad, you should know that the water is full of poop germs. Fecal coliform caused by raw sewage outlets, storm drains, and people doing their business in the water has reached a gross 1,455 per 100 milliliters. The highest allowed is 500 per 100 mol, which is still too much in my opinion. Number 8. The Skeleton Coast. The Skeleton Coast is a scary place. It's a lonely and empty land by the Atlantic Ocean in Namibia. People call it Skeleton Coast because a long time ago, you could find bones from whales and seals all over the place. But now, most of the bones you see are from ships that crashed into the rocks during foggy weather. The desert here looks different all the time because the sandy land keeps changing. The shipwrecks along the dry coastline look spooky, and they never look the same way twice. Number 7. Bikini Atoll Marshall Islands. Bikini Atoll is in the Marshall Islands, part of the Pacific Ocean. Something very bad happened there. Between 1946 and 1958, the United States tested nuclear bombs on this island. This was during a time called the Cold War, when countries were racing to have the most powerful weapons. The United States chose Bikini Atoll after World War II. They made the people living there leave and sent them to another island that couldn't support them well. For about 10 years, the United States tested dangerous nuclear bombs in the area. In 1970, the original residents came back home, but later, in 1978, it was discovered that the water and the fruits from the trees had too much radiation. This is very harmful. Even today, the water is not safe, and there are no sharks in it. The fruits from the trees are not good to eat. Even though people can technically visit the islands, they are still very contaminated with radiation, and it's not safe. The residents had to leave again in 1980. Number 6. Tamarama Beach, Australia. Tamarama Beach is in Australia, which is also called the land down under. In Australia, there are many ways you can get hurt, and one of them is at the beach. Tamarama Beach is near the south side of Sydney, and it might look nice, but it's not safe. The water here can be very dangerous. There are strong currents in the water called riptides. 2 of these riptides are really dangerous, right on the beach. Every year, about 150 people have to be rescued from the water because it's so risky. Even if the waves seem gentle, the sea can still be dangerous for swimming. The currents can make riptides that are 2 meters per second fast, and you can get pulled out to sea very quickly. If that happens, there's nothing you can do about it. So it's important to be careful if you go to Tamarama Beach in Australia. Number 5. Dumas Beach, India. Dumas Beach in India is next on our list, and it's known for being a bit strange. This beach is believed to be the most haunted in the world. You might not have considered a beach having ghost problems, but Dumas Beach is full of spooky spectres and eerie happenings. The reason behind this is that it used to be a cremation ground. The belief is that the spirits of those who couldn't move on linger along the entire shoreline. And if that's not enough, there's another danger. A large group of king cobras lives there. These snakes are quite dangerous and could seriously harm you. So, it's a good idea to stay away from Dumas Beach for these reasons. Number 4. North Sentinel Island Beach, India. The North Sentinel Island in India is home to a group of people known as the Sentinelese. They are one of the most isolated communities in the world and actively avoid any contact with outsiders. They have lived on their island for about 55,000 years, and because of their isolation in the Indian Ocean, they fiercely protect their territory. Unfortunately, anyone who has tried to interfere with their lives has been met with violence, and some have been killed. Due to their isolation, the Sentinelese are at risk of being wiped out by diseases brought in from the outside. The neighbouring islands have already experienced population decline due to diseases introduced from other places. Despite attempts to understand the tribe, it's difficult because approaching them often results in being shot with arrows. In 1880, a British expedition landed on the island, finding abandoned villages. They kidnapped some Sentinelese people for scientific purposes, but this led to the spread of diseases among the tribe, causing the death of many. Efforts were made in the 1970s and 80s to communicate with the Sentinelese, leaving gifts on the beaches. However, most offerings were rejected and buried by the tribe. Recently, it has been acknowledged that leaving the Sentinelese in peace is the safest approach. It seems the message has finally been understood by those curious outsiders. Number 3. Cairns, Australia. In Cairns, Australia, there's a problem with fox jellyfish. They're really bad and very dangerous. Getting stung by these jellyfish can kill a person. The waters around Cairns in Australia are full of them from November to June, known as stinger season. Many swimmers in the area have close calls and face dangerous situations during this time. Fraser Island, a big sandy island, doesn't provide a good habitat for the jellyfish. Some of them are as small as a thumb, but they are still very dangerous. Many people end up in the hospital, and if the sting is not treated quickly, the victim can expect a slow and painful death. The sting may start mild and then go away, but about 35 minutes later, crazy symptoms begin. These symptoms can lead to a heart attack, and that's the end. Number 2. Maho Beach, St. Martin. Maho Beach in St. Martin is a special place. Some people think it's like a tropical paradise, while others believe it's a bit risky because airplanes come really close. It's up to you to decide. This beach is right near the international airport, so it's a popular spot for visitors who want an exciting experience. The airplanes fly so low that it feels like they almost touch your head when they land. Maho Beach is right under the airplane landing path. People come here every day to see this unique show. Unfortunately, the beach has been affected by the strong winds from the airplanes, and there's almost no plants left. Despite this, many people still go there because it's such an interesting place to watch airplanes land so closely. Number 1. Cable Beach, Australia. Australia can be a dangerous place, and now we're at another beach in Australia called Cable Beach. It seems like Australia is trying to be a bit scary with all the dangerous animals around. Let's see what scary things we might find at this beach. First, the land is full of poisonous snakes and deadly spiders. And if that's not enough, the water is home to box jellyfish, white pointer sharks, and saltwater crocodiles. It's like a scary movie, but it's real. People who go swimming here often end up in trouble and sometimes even die. So, it's better to stay away from this beach. Why take the risk? Even if you somehow avoid getting stung or bitten, there's still a chance of being eaten by a crocodile or a shark. And if you manage to escape them, you might get caught in a spider web and poisoned by a snake. It doesn't sound like a fun vacation, does it? So, instead of planning a trip to this dangerous beach, maybe consider a nice and peaceful city break. Which of these dangerous beaches scared you the most? Have you ever been to any of these places? Let me know in the comments below. Check out other interesting things on the screen, and I'll talk to you next time.